can talk to me or you can talk to the camera, whatever you want.
Okay.
Just a conversation. So I am here with my dad here at Barrett-Jackson, and kind of a rare opportunity to see that I didn't just spawn out of dirt. This is my father. You live in Arizona.
We're here for 5 months of the year, but our home is in Wisconsin.
Yep, and you've been to Barrett-Jackson a couple times.
Yes, this is about our 4th trip, and we came this year especially to see you.
And what are you buying this year?
I'm trying to get my bid in on this car right behind us, but I didn't bring my big credit card today.
Now, I know you've always been kind of a truck guy, a Ford guy. I accredit a lot of my Ford love to you. I have a Ford F-250. It's kind of in the style of your old orange and black truck. But if you could buy anything while you were here at Barrett-Jackson, what would you buy?
If I could buy anything, I'd buy a 1958 Chevy convertible.
And why would you buy one of those?
It was my favorite car growing up. I had a friend who had one, and I used to ride around in it. It was a great chick magnet.
Nostalgia. Now, would you go full-on original, or would you go restaurant?
I'd go full-on original because it's just easier to take care of. And I'm old and getting slow.
Now, here's an opportunity that I'm sure you've been cherishing and looking forward to for years. Do you have a couple stories about my youth where I was discovering driving, something that you remember from the past?
Like every father, when your children turn 16, scared to death, then you give them those keys to the car, and sometimes the car came home, sometimes it didn't. In your case, it was just once. It came home a little dinged up. You did have a little heavier foot, but I guess that's why you're still into cars today. And you were born in Quantico, Virginia. We brought you home from the military hospital in a Volkswagen. So that's why you're still playing with Volkswagens. It was in your breeding. But all along, I guess you've always been involved in cars and motorcycles, and you've done well. I compliment you on that.
Well, thank you for that. And I guess I can say it's your fault.
It's my fault.
Yeah, there's photos I remember seeing of 2 Volkswagens, a 67 and a 69, right?
Yep.
And then something happened, and you've never owned a Volkswagen since. I've never known what that moment was that made you become a Ford guy and you never bought another Volkswagen.
I think the major problem was the line of work I was in. With my business, I had to have a snowplow, so I couldn't put it on the Volkswagen. So it was on a Ford truck.
But otherwise, you might have?
I might have. Matter of fact, we went to Mexico a few years ago, and rather than take the bus out into the jungle, we rented a Volkswagen because my wife, Barbara, had never been in a Volkswagen. So we took that out into the jungle, and it was an interesting ride.
Now, one more moment that I remember that I think I would definitely say thank you for again. Back out of high school, as soon as I was 18 and I could make my own choices, I traded a perfectly good Ford Fiesta I had for a 1977 Bug that immediately, turned out to be the coldest, most unreliable vehicle I've ever owned. And my dad helped me out with that. So tell me what it was that made you want to help me out with that.
Well, I had driven Volkswagens across the country by that time, and I know that there isn't much heat in a Volkswagen when it's 20 below. And I needed something for you to get around in a little more reliable because you were going away to college. So I said, if you sell that Volkswagen, I'll put the rest of the money in for your next car.
And that was a little 1983 Dodge Colt that turned out to be a really fun car. And even though I was not the kindest to it, it did last through everything I put it through, and it was warm. So thank you for that.
Yep, it was a good little car.
All right. Anything else that you want to share while you're here? An opportunity to talk to Forza fans? What can you tell them about Johniwanna?
Johniwanna is one heck of a website, and I'm extremely proud that you've done so well for yourself, and I wish you great luck in continuing in the future and go for it.
Right on. Well, thank you, Dad. It's super fun to have you here.
My pleasure. Yes, I hope it did all right.
Yeah.
We thought you were going to say he was conceived
Yeah,
in
in a Volkswagen. We thought that was the
brought home
story.
from the hospital.
Truth be told, he wasn't.